リムル様が築く共栄圏が評議会の立場を脅かすと心配しているのだな。
正解です。自らの分をわきまえず、リムル様の慈愛を受け入れぬ愚かな支配層など滅ぼしてしまえばいいでしょう。
第二秘書もそう思うか。
そういうのは却下で。
はい。
やっぱりシオンだこいつ。
何にせよ。
All right, my friends, today we have episode number 20 of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And this was a really, really, really great episode of Slime, I thought. Not only was it a big setup for day number 2 of the festival with hitting the arena finally, hitting the battles that are going to come, and probably the introduction of the dungeon as well. But all that kind of stuff aside, this episode was really, really great. I thought it felt really long. I thought it really introduced us to day 1 completely of what Rimuru has going on here at the festival. I thought it reintroduced us to Yuki as well as the little blonde hair girl, which are basically they're like the villains essentially. Yuki not so much, at least at the current moment, but then you have the little blonde hair girl. I forget what, I don't even know what her name is. I don't really remember anymore, but the little one who's kind of scoping everything out. And I believe I think it was Hinata. No, it was Luminous. It was Luminous who had called out Rimuru. He was like, she was like, hey, by the way, you know that you basically have these people like kind of like spies and stuff. He's like, and Rimuru was like, yeah, I know. It's cool, whatever. And he continues to congregate with them. He continues to congregate with Yuki, even though he kind of knows that Yuki has like hidden motivations essentially on what he's doing and why he's doing it. But he continues to kind of like cater to them in hopes of just kind of finding out what they're here for. And then, in hopes of just kind of like seeing everything else as well, too. On top of that, though, like this episode, like I said, it was really, really great. I really loved the science stuff that they did. I love the magical lesson that they did. I thought that was really cool, and finding out how they can basically heal weapons and armor and stuff. And reason being is like as your weapon, as your armor is attached to you, it's basically like feeding off your magic kills that you're having, and it's kind of becoming sentient. And I love how Gabiru really kind of like was the one to kind of come up with the idea, because we know that Gabiru is really smart. Gabiru. And he basically gave a really cool example of like, typically dryads start off as like really, really weak entities, within the forest, and as they absorb more magic kills, as they absorb more essence of the forest, they begin to turn into really formidable monsters, and they can evolve and stuff. And he's like, it's the same concept it's the same concept I thought about with plant life and with armors and weapons. And they basically have unlocked a new era of science, which I thought was really, really dope. And I really geek out about that a little bit, because it doesn't really make sense, and even Rimuru was thinking about himself like, yeah, when I was in the cave with Veldora, all those magic kills that he was constantly spewing out like really affected all the endemic life around there, and sometimes even created endemic life. So he's like, it just kind of really makes sense. So I love that a lot. I also really like, Hinata this episode and the role that she took up with all the students. I love how Mini Shizue is there as well, too. I love being able to see, all the different students and stuff. I love how the teacher didn't realize that, yeah, Rimuru is actually the king of this country, essentially. And I love how Hinata just kind of took over, being, the tour guide mom for the day and stuff. I thought that was really, really cool. And then the Luminous stuff I thought was really dope as well, too. Luminous was able to teach Rimuru a new skill, and that skill is to be able to pass on powers and stuff to your followers. So, I think we use Benimaru here as like a example, but, anybody who is closely tied to Rimuru, which would be all of them, right? Shuna, Shion, Diablo, whatever, he could pass on traits and skills. And I think the example he used was like his holy healing. He can like pass that on now to his followers, whether it's temporary or permanent. I'm not really sure yet, but regardless, it still opens up a really cool option and really cool avenue for Rimuru and the people under him to continue to kind of pass down his essence and power and skills and stuff like that. So that was really dope too. But then Luminous, obviously, she had a big interest in trading people. So trading, that skill for people to come and have her researchers and research team and her artist and everything come down here to kind of like further their own country as well, alongside Rimuru. Very last thing I thought was really cool was Mjolnir or whatever his name is, and dealing with all the trades and stuff, and seeing on how Rimuru and the nation is being blocked everywhere with currency, and just kind of hearing how they're going to kind of figure out that problem. I thought was really cool too. Among a bunch of other things that occurred this episode as well too. I just felt like this episode was just really, really long, but very, very, very entertaining. So episode 20, I thought was 9 out of 10. I was interested. I was entertained. I loved learning more about the sciences. I loved learning more about their art. I like seeing Xion and Shuna up there on stage, you know, with the piano violin duo. I just thought all of that was super sick. So I thought this episode was really dope. And then next week we get day 2 of the festival with opening up the arena and probably the dungeon as well too. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. But this was a top-notch episode of Slime. All right, my friends. I'll see you guys for episode 21 next week. Peace.